horrible lie. I thought it was a thoroughly enjoyable speech this evening from Gandhi. It contained enough humour to sustain someone with a child's attention span like me, but also enough content for the adults in the room to take something away from it. The things I'm going to cover as I go through the speech will be the structure, his use of gestures and body language, a little bit around kind of facial features, some quotations and discussions of those, his use of English, and then conclude by reminding you what was memorable from the speech. First of all, in terms of the structure, I felt that he used a powerful intro, so he came in strong with some big quotes and then had a very early twist, which is something that's great to grab people's attention. So he's talking about famous people, what's inspired him? It's a dog, and then suddenly he's given a whole new angle to it and people are captured by that. In terms of the structure, the one thing that I thought let him down slightly was his use of the numbered list was excellent in terms of the things his dog has taught him, but sometimes because some of the points were slightly elongated, when you start the next point, you didn't mention that it was the second what. So, for example, you said the third, the third lesson, or the third thing I've learned, and the fourth thing I've learned, but the second one you just said, number 2, and I was thinking to myself, has he reminded us what this is a list of? So I couldn't exactly remember, so it's worth just reiterating with each number, it's the second what. In terms of gestures and body language, the eye for an eye section at the start was a nice touch. Eye, blind, loved it. The roll on your back and sticking your tongue out, a perfect demonstration of dog-like behaviour. The one thing I would say about your gestures and body language, it reminded me of someone at some point 10-pin bowling. Like, you know, there's the fault line in 10-pin bowling. It was here. And you were at it. And then you were at it again. And then you cross it later on. And so it wasn't until about 2/3 of the way through the speech, and I think that sometimes if the legend is there and you're not using it, you really need to be out in front of it, otherwise it's kind of like, go my length of the floor, it kind of looks like you're sort of, scared to go past it, so I would say just come out from the front. In terms of your body, your facial expressions, you had a look of concern on your face for quite a lot of the speech, and you could almost perfectly coincide moving from a look of concern to a big smile with the bowling alley. It's like, ooh, he's a little bit concerned, the brow was furrowed. And then he came out with a smile. And so it was just worth watching. I don't know whether that was a nerves thing early on or whether it was, just to build the tension, but it certainly had me kind of a little bit on edge, wondering if this was if the humour was just carrying us to a slightly darker ending than I was expecting, but it's worth just watching. The use of quotes was excellent, and there's a sort of NLP theory that says that if you give quotations rather than giving it in your own words, people are more likely to take it on board. One thing I would say is just watch, because there were quite a lot at the start and sometimes it's tough to keep up with those. And in terms of your overall use of humour, it was excellent. I loved your squeaky ball, chewy bone, other toy, and just a nice little list there, a bit of a change of pace. And in terms of memorable things, playing should be something that is done until the very last day, which I think is a lovely message to share. So thank you very much.